Hey man, here's the truth that most guys don't understand. Women don't get attached because of what you give them. It's a common misconception that attachment comes from gifts, compliments, loyalty, or constant attention. That's the story sold by weak men who have never bothered to truly understand female psychology. It's a shallow lie. Real attachment doesn't come from nice gestures or the things you do. It comes from how you make her feel, the emotional experiences you create. That's what hooks her on a deep, instinctual level. Once you grasp the fundamental elements of female nature, things like desire, arousal, uncertainty, and emotional tension, everything changes. You realize that building a seductive vibe that lasts 24/7 isn't about doing more, it's about being more. It's about being more grounded in yourself, more unpredictable, and more emotionally resonant. That energy, the one that combines stability with mystery, is what builds real attachment. It's what makes her obsessed, what pulls her in on a level beyond physical attraction or superficial charm. Let's start with the foundation. Women become attached based on how you make them feel about themselves when they're with you. If she feels bored, ignored, or emotionally flat around you, she naturally pulls away. It's not a conscious choice, it's biology. But if she feels feminine, desired, seen, and challenged in your presence, she bonds. That bonding isn't manipulation, it's nature. A woman's attachment system is deeply tied to her emotions, not your logical explanations. You can tell her all day long how much you care, how loyal you are, or how honest you've been, but if she doesn't feel emotionally ignited when she's around you, it's already game over. Here's a crucial insight. Female desire is sparked by contrast, not comfort. Most guys try to be the safe, predictable partner who never rocks the boat. They show up on time, say the right things, never disagree, and as a result, they put her to sleep. Because female arousal doesn't thrive on safety alone. It needs tension, it needs polarity, it needs those moments where she doesn't know exactly what's coming next, but feels completely safe with you nonetheless. She wants a man who can challenge her, keep her on her toes, and at the same time make her feel adored and protected. That delicate dance between emotional safety and mystery is the secret formula that wires her to you on a deeper level. Once she's locked into that rhythm, she's not just attracted, she's fully invested. If you want to create a seductive vibe that lasts around the clock, the key is mastering emotional unpredictability combined with genuine masculine presence. This isn't about playing games, it's about embodying a calm, grounded energy that naturally draws her in. Don't always respond immediately to her texts or calls. Don't say yes to every request she makes. And most importantly, don't let your emotions get thrown off balance by hers. Be grounded, be still. Let her moods and emotional storms come and go, and smile through it all. Why? Because every time you remain steady and unmoved, you send a powerful message to her subconscious. This man can handle me. That feeling, that sense of security combined with intrigue is where true attachment begins. At that point, you're no longer just a man in her life. You become her emotional anchor. Here's a vital distinction. Women don't get deeply attached to men who simply give them peace or comfort. Instead, they become attached to the men who become their peace, the ones whose presence calms their inner chaos without demanding anything in return. This level of emotional stability only comes when you stop chasing fleeting emotional highs and instead start creating what I call emotional gravity. When she realizes that you're unshaken by her drama, when she witnesses you remaining calm and composed during her storms, and when she feels your steady presence instead of hearing panic or desperation, her nervous system begins to relax. This relaxation builds trust. And trust, when combined with arousal, produces the most profound and lasting form of female obsession. Understand this, arousal and attachment are different, but they feed off each other. Arousal draws her into the bedroom. Attachment keeps her thinking about you long after the clothes come off. The secret to unlocking both isn't performative masculinity or fake bravado. It's unfiltered masculine energy. A man who fully knows who he is, who doesn't over-explain himself, and who creates emotional tension through controlled distance and intense presence. When she senses that you are the prize, not because you say it, but because she feels it deep down, she starts chasing you. And here's a crucial truth. Women only attach deeply to the men they chase. Quick break. Close your eyes for a second. Picture her, the girl you've always wanted. Feel what it would be like to actually have her. Now open your eyes, because here's the truth. Right now, you're invisible to her. You're getting outcompeted by guys with more money, better looks, higher status, and stronger game. You're playing a rigged game, and you're losing. But I've spent the last 35 years mastering this, studying, testing, and finally finding the secrets to get the girls I always wanted. You want to stop getting ignored? You want her chasing you? Then you need to wake up and act. Click the link in the comments if you are truly committed and take the first step toward becoming that guy. Few spots left. Be fast or miss out your last chance to make her yours. Let's get back to it. The reason most guys fail at maintaining a seductive allure over the long term is because they mistake validation for genuine connection. They think that constantly telling her she's beautiful, texting to check in, or showering her with attention, even when she hasn't earned it, will keep her hooked. But what does that really do? It kills polarity, it removes tension, eliminates the edge, and wipes out any real stakes in the dynamic. Once she knows she has you locked down, her interest begins to fade. There's no challenge, no excitement, no desire to chase. The real secret to lasting desire lies in pulling back just enough, creating space and mystery around your attention. When you make her wonder where you are, what you're thinking, or how much you truly want her, the dynamic flips. Suddenly, she becomes the one trying to impress you, to earn your attention and approval. That shift is powerful, and that's how you ignite a fire that keeps burning. Another essential piece of the puzzle is delayed gratification. This isn't about playing childish games, it's about creating a rhythmic dance of intimacy and withdrawal that keeps her emotionally hooked. Give her small doses of vulnerability, then pull away. Share something personal, then fall silent. Flirt intensely, then disappear for a day. This ebb and flow mirrors the way the female nervous system bonds, through craving and reward. If she always has you, if she always knows what you're thinking and feeling, she begins to take you for granted. But when you pace your presence like a rare and valuable reward, she becomes addicted to the experience of being around you. Most men only manage to trigger logical attraction. She likes your car, your looks, your income. But logical attraction is fleeting. It fades quickly. What lasts, what truly captivates, is emotional addiction. This is the intoxicating high of unpredictability, the magnetic pull of mystery, the feeling that when she's with you, she's experiencing a more vivid, more intense version of herself. Women become obsessed with men who unlock new emotional layers within them: passion, nervousness, jealousy, uncertainty, arousal. If you can make her feel like she's the star in a movie that she never wants to end, then you've won. This is precisely where most men completely derail their chances. They get comfortable far too soon. The moment she starts showing genuine interest, instead of maintaining the magnetic tension, they begin to lose their edge. They text more frequently, respond immediately, chase harder, and become overly emotional or needy. All of these behaviors unintentionally flip the dynamic on its head. Suddenly, she's the one holding all the power, the prize to be won, and the instant she senses this shift in energy, her instinct to pursue you evaporates. Women simply don't stay obsessed with men who give everything away too quickly or too easily. True and lasting attraction thrives on tension, the delicate dance of slow reveals and measured withholding that keeps her wanting more. If you want to understand why some women become deeply attached after a single night while others can spend months with a guy and never develop those feelings, it's important to realize that it's rarely about the physical act of sex itself. It's about the entire emotional ecosystem that surrounds it, the build-up, the energy, the unspoken emotional subtext, and the anticipation. When you create an environment charged with high desire and uncertainty, where she never quite knows when she'll see you next, where she feels intensely wanted but never in control of the situation, that's when the emotional attachment takes root. Conversely, if you're just another guy who provides a good time and then immediately starts begging for her attention or commitment, you become just a passing moment in her life, not a lasting memory she craves. Female psychology is rhythm-based and thrives on contrast. It needs a balance between availability and distance, between fire and calm, between excitement and tranquility. If you're too stable and predictable, she gets bored. Her nervous system craves something that sparks a bit of emotional adrenaline, but if you swing too far into unpredictability or inconsistency, she gets scared, unsure if she can trust you. The truly seductive man understands how to harness this balance expertly. He introduces emotional variety, moments of intensity followed by moments of calm, without ever losing his sense of self or his emotional frame. This ebb and flow, this emotional cadence, is what activates the part of her brain that begins to weave a narrative about you, one where you play the intriguing, captivating lead. Once she's crafting that story, replaying your interactions in her mind and imagining a future that includes you, attachment has already begun to take hold. She's no longer just interested, she's invested on a deeper emotional level. This is the subtle art of seduction, the ability to maintain tension, build anticipation, and control the rhythm of connection in a way that pulls her in continuously without overwhelming or losing her. Women are naturally drawn to men who can maintain control, especially under pressure and emotional tension. When she throws jealousy games, attitude, or tests your resolve, the worst thing you can do is match her energy or react impulsively. Instead, stay calm, observe quietly, maybe even give a subtle smirk, because in that very moment, she's evaluating you. She's asking herself, can this man hold the emotional weight of who I am? Can he handle all my complexities, moods, and intensity without cracking? And when you stand firm, when you don't waver or lose your composure, something powerful happens. She softens. That's the turning point where trust begins to build, where she starts recognizing your leadership not as control or domination, but as emotional strength. She stops testing you because she respects your presence too deeply to challenge it further. This respect isn't forced. It grows naturally from your steady, grounded energy. Now, you might wonder why some women seem obsessed with men who barely pay them any attention. It's not because those men are better or more deserving, it's because they're elusive, hard to pin down. That unpredictability triggers a primal biological response deep within her. Her dopamine system lights up, sparking excitement and curiosity. She doesn't fall in love instantly. Instead, she begins investing emotionally because she wants to solve the puzzle you present. Women are wired to be fascinated by complexity, not simplicity. The more transparent and predictable you are, the less space she has to wonder about you, and less she thinks about you. But when you're a man who is emotionally stable, yet layered, who reveals your vulnerability selectively and thoughtfully, she can't stop replaying moments with you in her mind. That mix of mystery and stability creates a delicious confusion that transforms into obsession and eventually deep emotional attachment. Women don't attach to certainty, they attach to emotional curiosity. This doesn't mean you have to be dishonest or manipulative. It means leading with subtlety, with layers. Let her experience your warmth and care, but don't lay out every single thought or feeling on the table all at once. Show her you care, but don't explain every nuance of your emotions. The men who win women's hearts and minds are those who unfold slowly, like a compelling novel she can't put down, never like a pamphlet she's already read and lost interest in. Being that man means mastering the art of paced revelation, keeping her intrigued and deeply connected through the gentle pool of emotional depth and mystery. Be emotionally present with her, fully engaged in the moment, but always keep a part of your inner depth reserved, something private and untouched. This creates an irresistible dynamic where she's not just chasing your time or attention, but your truth, your essence. The power of emotional imprinting, making a woman feel something so uniquely profound she can't forget it, is one of the most underestimated forces in attraction. It doesn't hinge on wealth, status, or looks. It comes from emotional contrast, from the way you make her feel alive through your unpredictable emotional rhythms. Let her laugh uncontrollably one night, full of joy and energy, then retreat into quiet, deep silence the next morning as you sip your coffee, lost in thought, gazing out the window. Show her your natural leadership and strength one day, then reveal your creative, quirky, or unconventional side the next. This isn't about confusing her, it's about giving her emotional range, variety that sparks what psychologists call emotional imprinting. The more diverse and authentic your emotional signals, the stronger the imprint you leave on her subconscious. Seductive men know that eye contact is far more powerful than any clever line or rehearsed phrase. You don't need fancy words to captivate her. You need a grounded, penetrating presence that communicates confidence without saying a word. Look her in the eyes when she speaks. Hold her gaze with quiet assurance. Smile slowly, deliberately, especially when she tests your boundaries. Pause before you answer, letting the moment linger just long enough to create a subtle tension. That slight delay, that unbothered calm, it's what makes her heart race and sparks a magnetic energy between you. Suddenly, it's not just a conversation, it's a charged interaction filled with unspoken attraction. Women attach deeply to the men who make them feel more alive, more vibrant, more intensely present. But there's one secret every truly seductive man masters: indifference to outcome. She can sense when you need her to like you, when you're trying too hard to impress, and that kills the vibe instantly. Women want to feel like they're choosing a man who is already whole, already complete, not someone who is emotionally needy or empty. When you genuinely don't care if she chooses you or not because your life is rich, fulfilling, and complete regardless, that confidence shines through unmistakably. That is the moment the dynamic flips. That is when she starts chasing you, trying to prove herself worthy of your attention and presence. One of the biggest mistakes men make is over-explaining their value. High-value men never feel the need to convince women that they're special because their value is obvious in every move they make. It's in the way they carry themselves with quiet confidence, how they naturally command attention when they enter a room, and how effortlessly they walk away from disrespect without wasting a second on debate or justification. Women pick up on these subtle cues, often unconsciously. When you truly know your worth, you don't have to say a single word. Your energy speaks volumes before you even open your mouth. And once she senses that deep, unshakable self-respect in your bones, that's when her mind starts to imagine a life wrapped around you, because confidence is magnetic. The fastest way to kill female desire and attraction is emotional neediness. The moment you start seeking constant reassurance, clinging or rushing to define the relationship prematurely, she pulls away. It's not because she's heartless, it's because emotional neediness signals weakness, and weakness, especially when shown too soon, suffocates polarity. Polarity is the tension between masculine and feminine energy that fuels attraction. When you stay calm, don't over-pursue, and simply enjoy the moment without trying to claim or control it, you create a magnetic energy shift. Suddenly, she feels the pressure to maintain your interest. This shift makes her more feminine, more cooperative, and infinitely more curious. This is how deep attachment grows, not through emotional dependence, but through a dynamic balance of tension and ease. Here's something crucial to understand. Many women mistake emotional chaos for connection. If she's been with weak or toxic men in the past, she might even see your calm presence as boring or indifferent. Let her have that thought, because once she experiences the rare stability and groundedness you offer, where you bring passion without drama, depth without confusion, and authority without control, she will never want to return to the exhausting emotional noise of her past. But she has to experience this for herself. That's why your role is to lead with stillness and strength, holding your ground quietly while letting her come to you in her own time. That patient, unwavering presence is what builds true, lasting attraction. The most dangerous kind of man, the one who truly captivates a woman, is the man who makes her feel deeply and intensely without even trying. He doesn't need to chase, beg, or perform for attention. His life is so full, so disciplined, and so purpose-driven that his very energy pulls her in like sunlight draws a plant to grow. It's not about manipulation or playing games. It's about existing with a presence so magnetic that her emotional system instinctively reaches for it. This kind of energy is incredibly rare, and women are wired to attach most fiercely to what feels rare and valuable. Women desire men who move with slow, sovereign energy, men who don't rush through conversations or try to speed up the relationship timeline after a few dates. These men don't crumble under pressure or lose themselves when tested emotionally, sexually, or psychologically. Instead, they stand firm, unshaken, and unbothered. When she throws her tests, he doesn't flinch. He holds his frame with calm authority, and that steadiness is what hooks her. She attaches, not because he's playing hard to get, but because he genuinely is hard to get. Not through artificial distance or games, but through unshakable discipline and self-control. This is precisely why so many women eventually drift away from the nice guy who gives everything up front and instead become obsessed with the man she can't quite figure out, the one who doesn't reveal all his cards on day one. The nice guy rushes to define the relationship, to secure commitment, to remove all tension and risk too soon. The seductive man, on the other hand, carefully paces his presence, letting the emotional charge build naturally. He knows that tension isn't the enemy, it's the secret thread, the invisible cord that keeps her thinking about him long after he's left the room. Here's the harsh truth most men never learn. Women don't get attached to what's safe and comfortable. They attach to what feels alive, what ignites their senses, and stirs their emotions in ways no one else can. You don't need to be toxic, wealthy, tall, or famous. What you need is the ability to make her feel something deeper, sharper, and more vibrant than anyone else ever has. That kind of bond isn't built on what you do or say. It's built on the energy you bring, the edge, the confidence, the rhythm you maintain between availability and mystery. Be the man who makes her feel like she stepped into a movie every time she's with you, full of suspense, passion, and unpredictable magic. Be the man whose presence alone sparks an emotional adventure she can't resist. When you embody that, she won't just be interested, she'll be hooked, utterly captivated, and unable to stop coming back for more. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. If this message spoke to you or gave you something to think about, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new drop. I've got more real talk, more growth, and more power coming your way, so stay locked in. And if you're going through something right now, just remember, your silence can say more than 1,000 words ever could. Take care of yourself, keep rising, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.